and welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy. Chloe and Bandit are somewhere. Bandit was behind me. There he is right there. If you're new, welcome. Thanks so much for checking us out. And if you're returning, thanks so much for being a part of our YouTube family. So today I have what I got in my February Eyescream Beauty box, as well as just a couple of other items because it came with a lot of items to do a makeover Monday with, but not everything. So there was this by Pure Cosmetics mascara and serum, not serum, but what was it? It was two different things. One you put on before, and one you put, and then the mascara. The Take Me to Paris palette, the Basic Beauty lip kit. Now the lip liner was broken. I haven't heard anything. This Hikari eye crayon. This gorgeous highlighter. So what I didn't have in there was an eyeliner, an eyebrow pencil, and cheeks. So I grabbed those just from previous things that I've gotten, but they are things that I use rather regularly. I got this in my regular Ipsy some months back, maybe 3 or 4 months, and I mean, I use it quite a bit, as you can see. So I also have some bronzer here by LYS. I had gotten this in BoxyCharm, and I do use this quite a lot, but it takes a lot to use it up. Right, so what I typically do when I start is I always start with cheeks. So I'm going to start with the LYS bronzer, and I thought we would talk dogs today because, as you guys have been seeing, I do have a whole household of dogs. I have 3 right now, and 3 cats, and so quite a pet menagerie. So Bandit is the newest dog to our family. We got him in 2019, right around Christmas time, and so my husband is kind of the big animal collector in the house, and he had I don't know, somehow come across Bandit's picture. Bandit was at our local pound, actually, which, you know, usually at the pounds, at least around here, it's all Chihuahuas and Pit Bulls. Now, I've had a Pit Bull, and she was a Pit Bull mix, Pit Bull boxer mix, and she was very sweet, very loving dog. But she also, maybe because she was a boxer mix, had a very high prey drive. So she like tore up our lawn tractor. Oh, she tore up our back patio. And I just didn't want that headache again. And again, that was probably the boxer in her, but oh, I just didn't want that again. But anyway, so he had found him, and there was a picture of him with his little teeth, and he was like, look at this little dog. And I was like, oh my god, I love him. I need to have him in my life, which usually I'm very standing firm on. That's it, we've got enough dogs, 2 dogs is enough. Okay, there's that Eloise. And but the minute I saw him, I just knew I had to get him. And he was there with some siblings, and I think there were 2 other siblings. They had been taken from a home or surrendered from a home. Well, that is very bronze, but I do like it. Like, that's very pretty. You can see that shine. And so I put in my application, and they called me, and immediately he came to live with us. And then COVID hit, and so in March of 2020, all the schools got closed down, and I was at my mom's at the time with my daughter, and we ended up staying there for her to do online school, which is kind of how I came to live with my mom, kind of part-time. And it was very hard because poor Bandit was home with my husband and the other dogs, and I really missed him. So I asked my mom's permission, because she had a dog too, and she still does have a dog. But anyway, I said, you know, I really miss my little Bandit, and he's my baby boy, and she let me bring him. So that's how we got Bandit. They said he was a Maltese mix. You know, I think he's kind of got maybe some Pekingese in him. I'm not really sure, but he's just my little love bug. Previous to him, we had gotten Kinsey as a puppy, and that was right after the pit bull, not right after, but that was after the pit bull boxer mix died. And so my husband, Sophie, the pit bull mix, had been his dog, and primarily, and he really wanted another dog after she passed. She had Lyme disease, and it just, boom, hit her real hard, real fast, even with wearing the collars and all that. All right, so I started on my outer corner with that one right there. And so he was looking at all different types of dogs, and I said, well, you know, I know somebody who breeds labs. I know that you like labs. And I used to work with this lady. She lives actually down the street from me. And they're great breeders. They do such, you know, that's, you know, they only breed these labs. They do breed different colors. So the golden and the yellow are their primary, but they do have a chocolate lab too. And I happened to, you know, I called her and I said, hey, are you expecting any new litters? And she said, as a matter of fact, we are. And I said, oh, you know, here's what happened. And I said, you know, our dog just passed away in October, or no, it was over the summer. And at this point it was maybe September. And she said, well, I'm actually expecting a litter next month in October. And I said, oh, well, we'd, you know, love to be considered. You know, I know you probably have a waiting list. And she says, well, you know, it depends on how many we have, but we'll put you on the list. What do you prefer? And I said, well, I have a male dog, and that was my Toby. So maybe a female dog. I don't want any, you know, issues with them trying to, you know, be the favorite. Oh, I did this as an overall. Then I did this in the corner, went in with this and this. And she said, all right, well, you know, I already have a couple of people who want a female, but if there's, you know, if there are more than just a couple, we'll come down and take a look at them. And so obviously there were. We came down, we took a look at them. I brought Chloe with me because I said, well, this is going to be your dog. So I really want you to kind of pick out what dog, you know, speaks to you the most. And they had a runt, and that was Kinsey. And my daughter immediately fell in love with Kinsey. That was it. That was the one she wanted. And I have to tell you, like, when I said, well, let's take a couple out. Let's look at a couple. You know, she had some that were more on the white side. Kinsey was this beautiful, gorgeous rust color. Well, not rust color, but the golden color that she is. And her father was rust colored. And we took out a couple. And Kinsey, run to the litter, was the most active. She was the one doing the most exploring, and just the biggest personality of all the dogs we met. So we did choose her, and then she wasn't going to be ready to go until December. So every week, at least once a week, we'd go and we'd visit, and Chloe would bring some like sheets that she had slept with, so the dog got used to her scent. And I just really fell in love with her. And that's how we got Kinsey. And she is, she's a very sweet girl, but she is very crazy. And I had heard, like, okay, well, the first couple of years of a lab's life, they're very crazy, but then they calm down. Oh, not this girl. She's 4 years old now. And she's still just as nuts as she was when we brought her home. So, all right, so I'm going to try this right on the lid line there and right on the brow bone. Oh, I can hear my girl Claire. I don't know if you hear the growling and hissing. That's Claire. She does not like other cats. But my husband didn't heed that and brought some in home anyway some time back. So, you know, that's what he does. Anyway, I don't remember where I was. Kind of Kinsey. Anyway, she's still crazy. We brought her to training. She did really well with that. But, you know, you got to keep up with that. And, well, I have to say that, you know, we kind of are a busy family. She is great to take on hikes. She loves to swim. Loves swimming. So we live right next to the state forest. So a lot of times in the... All right, so there's where that's at. In the summer, spring and summer, we'll take her for hikes, and she really loves that. But she's always trying to get into the water, and I don't love that because she's going to have to get in my car after. And that water is pretty gross. So, yeah, I try to dissuade that from happening. Anyway, Toby Boy, he is the dog we've had the longest. We got him when Chloe was 3, and he was 3 too. He is a rescue dog. Most of our dogs are rescue dogs throughout our life together. My husband and I, most of our dogs have been rescue dogs. So Toby's an American Eskimo, and I just love American Eskimos. I love their big white puffy fur. And we've had several. They come in toy, standard, and miniature. And I've had all 3. And he was from New Jersey. And this was, so again, now this was going back now 8 years. 8 years ago, we knew some people that did American Eskimo rescue because we'd gotten other dogs from them. And at the time, my mini was not looking so good. My miniature American Eskimo was not looking so good. She was older. We'd had her since a puppy. And she was maybe 13 at the time, maybe 14. And was just kind of acting weird, like was just walking around circles, just really, really weird stuff. And so I said, well, you know, maybe she needs a friend, because her best friend, my other American Eskimo, the toy, had passed away, and she had been a rescue. And so I thought, well, maybe she's lonely, maybe she wants a friend. At the time we did have Sophie, but Sophie didn't know how to play with the little dog, so it, you know, wasn't like they got along, but they really didn't play together. And so I contacted the people from the rescue place that we had worked with before, and they said, well, we actually have a male right now, which I thought was great because both of my dogs were female. And I said, oh, good, I'm looking for a male. They said, he is a standard. I said, oh, I was really hoping for a smaller size, but we'll take a look at him. And they said, well, he's kind of special. And I said, well, what kind of special? And he had, again, he'd been living with a family, mother, father, 16-year-old daughter. And the father had killed the wife and then killed himself. and left this 16-year-old girl and the dog. And so their family was from Pakistan, so she had to go, the young girl had to go back to Pakistan, and couldn't take Toby with them. So anyway, they said that he doesn't do great with new people, and that the foster family was thinking of keeping him because they were starting to, you know, feel like he was a part of their family. But because they knew we had done so well with some of the other Eskies, that if we wanted to give him a try and see if he would fit into our family, we could. So, all right, so you're going to start with the lengthening mascara here. Never had mascara that like you shake and it does that. But okay. So so we brought him home, and he came to stay with us for the weekend because the family that was or the people who were fostering him were here for a wedding. So I said, well, we'll take him for the weekend. We'll see how he does. I mean, if anything really crazy happens, we'll call the gal who we had initially contacted, because she could have taken him if things were really out of control. And he took right to my daughter, like immediately. Oh, this is nice mascara. And took, Angel took right to him. That was my other Esky. And Sophie, who had been boss dog, immediately calmed down. Like, she needed this male influence. It just, she was a much better dog after Toby came around. Now, I'm not going to say they got along, because Toby liked Angel, but Toby didn't like any other dogs. And she constantly nagged at him. I mean, he constantly nagged at her, like barked at her, chased her around, barking at her, just really kind of put her in her place. But that's kind of what Sophie needed, because she was not with my dogs, but she was somewhat dog aggressive. Like, if she saw other dogs when we were taking her for a walk, we'd have to like stop and turn her around, because she was she would get really protective. So he was a great stabilizing influence, and they became friends after several years. That's how long it took. Several years. Right, this does say to apply 1 to 2 coats. So anyway, they became good friends, and he, you know, he has fit into our family. Now, I'm not going to say he is a breeze. He is handsome as all get. I will give him that. But he is also very grumpy. But he loves my daughter. He, when she was a toddler and sleeping in her toddler bed, he would sleep right at the, so the toddler bed was kind of like a day bed. So he would sleep like right in front of it, protecting her all the time, all the time. And even now, he can't get up on her bed, but he sleeps on her floor pretty much every night. Some nights he'll sleep with us, but for the most part, this is the other one. This is lash lengthening fibers. So anyway, he doesn't like to be brushed or groomed in any way. He doesn't like to, like if he's got something stuck in his fur or a tick on him, he doesn't like to be messed with that stuff, and has been to the point where he has like snapped at me and almost bit me, but only because I knew it was coming. I was able to save myself. He doesn't like to have anything taken away from him. Like if he's getting into something that you don't want him to get into, he'll bite you rather than give it to you. This is kind of weird. Anyway. I have to muzzle him when I groom him, when because I pretty much groom my own dogs. Once a year I'll get Toby professionally groomed, but I have some clippers I got at a tag sale for $25, some Osters that work perfectly. So, all right, so there is the mascara. I think that works really nicely, but the fiber's really weird. Like it's it seems like kind of fibers coming out of there. If you can, yeah, he can be a treat. He is very bad with strangers. Like we can't have people over without having to put him on a leash and maybe even muzzled for a little while until he gets comfortable. Even with my daughter has a friend come over. She's used to it now, so he doesn't really mess with her too much. Grumbles at her a little bit, but I always tell people just ignore him and he will he'll come around. Like he won't bug you if you just ignore him first. Like if you put your hand out to try to pet him, he takes that as a sign of aggression and will okay. Now the tip to this is broken off, so let's see if I can get some of this out. Won't be any lip liner. I guess I could try to use this little tiny tip here. Yeah, it's not gonna work well. All right, well, we'll just skip that. Anyhow, so those are the dogs I have now. Again, we did have previous to Kinsey, we had that boxer pit bull mix, and she was very, very sweet. She just wandered into our yard when Chloe was about, oh, maybe, how old was she? Maybe 7 months old, I think. It was around 4th of July weekend, and she just came into our yard, and so I put a collar on her. She didn't have any collar on. She didn't have a, you know, any identifying tag, so I put a leash on her, collar on her, and a leash on her, and went up and down my road a little bit. I live on like a rural route, so, and everybody lives like far back, so I went to a few different houses trying to find her owner. There is that Basic Beauty. This is Champagne Fizz. Nobody would fess up to owning her, so I had to call animal control. They said they knew exactly where she belonged. She lived with just down the road. Nobody had answered when we were there. She said the lady had like 9 or 10 different dogs, and they kind of were like taking them from down south and keeping them at their house. But if you have more than 6 dogs in our state, you have to register as a kennel, and they didn't. So she said she's not going to contact us because then we'll have to go there and get the records, and then we're going to have to cite them. So she's not going to contact us. Do you want me to come take the dog? Do you want to hold on to the dog? And I said, well, we'll hold on to her. She's doing perfectly fine here. And that was that. She was ours from that point forward. They never stepped up and said, hey, this is our dog. Nothing. They just let it go because there was an ad in the paper for like 2 weeks. They never answered it. So yeah, so that's the story of Sophie. And again, she was very sweet, such a loving girl. People say such bad things about pit bulls, but she was beautiful and wonderful. A terror if you were a mouse or a vole or a chipmunk, probably a terror to you, but to people, she was lovely. All right, so that's my look using the things that I got from the Eyescream Beauty from February. I love this palette. I love that pop green. I don't know how well you're seeing it in there, But yeah, I really like the look. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what was your favorite dog breed if you had a dog. And if you didn't, that's all right. Just say hi, whatever. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this evening, and please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Leave a comment down below if you would, and hopefully I'll see you soon.